Commodores, Canto. How are you guys?
All right,
Great.
good to be here.
Better
How
now
are
that
you?
we're here.
Good. Like you guys really just. So I should say for people who don't remember from previous times we talked, you usually spend time here.
We do.
And so sometimes you're wandering in from like a vacation time, but you guys just like rushed here.
We
Yeah.
did, just
Yep.
for you.
Thank
It's all
you
your
so
fault.
much.
And we are so happy. Thank
Where
you
are
for
we
inviting
coming
us.
from? Have you been on the road? Or?
No,
We-
we've been home in Cambridge.
Since we were here in the vineyard in July and we did our last
Yeah.
shows, yes,
Yeah. How did your museum show go?
it went great.
Isn't it such a nice setting?
Yes, we
Yeah.
loved it. We loved it. We had so much fun.
Well, good. Well,
Great audience.
you're here today and tomorrow. Or you're here today and then on the mainland tomorrow.
Yes.
Part of our series. So maybe we should just start with music and then we'll talk about maybe
Okay,
music. Sure.
great,
What do you want to start with?
Okay. How about if we do Calor? One
Okay.
of the songs from our latest album.
Rosie likes this one because
I
it's a
do.
love song I wrote for her.
That's
Aw.
right. And let me tell you something. Here's why it's really special. It took him 30 years to write it.
Sometimes
But
you
it
gotta wait
was
for the
worth
good
waiting
things.
for. What can I say?
This is like
And like when he wrote it, he's like, I think I wrote this song, but I don't know. I think it might be a little cheesy. And I said, well, let me hear it. And he played it, and I'm like bawling.
Aw.
This is not cheesy at all. It's beautiful.
I mean, some dishes take a while.
That's
So
right,
like
that's
the
right.
stew has
slow,
to-
slow cooking.
Yeah, slow cooking. All right.
So it's called calor, which means warmth. It says the warmth of the sun of the summer is leaving. From time to time it comes back, but it's not the same. The sun doesn't warm like it used to, and the water has lost the softness of its caress. So much change, so much looking back, so many goodbyes without knowing what's to come. So much change, so much stays the same. And here we are, you and I, without changing.
Just a little bit we changed.
Yeah. It's poetic
Around the
license.
hammer. El calor del verano se está alejando ya. De momento regresa, pero ya no es igual. El sol ya no calienta como tiempo atrás. Y la caricia del agua perdió su suavidad.
Tanto cambio, tanta mirada atrás, tantas despedidas sin saber qué vendrá. Tanto cambio, tanto se queda igual. Y aquí estamos tú y yo sin cambiar. El calor de un abrazo, ¿cómo no va a faltar? Una amistad perdida, un remordimiento más. Tantas vueltas a la vida, no sé qué pasará, pero sé que a mi lado tú siempre vas a estar. Tanto cambio, tanta mirada atrás, tantas despedidas sin saber qué vendrá. Tanto cambio, tanto se queda igual. Y aquí estamos tú y yo sin cambiar. cambiar. Y aquí estamos tú y yo sin cambiar.
That was romantic.
Sully Canto performing today, 6 o'clock at the Winnetou Oceanside Resort. So you guys have been together for a really long time.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
You've been playing music.
We did.
Did you know?
42 years ago.
Did you know?
How did that happen?
Did we
Did
know
we know?
we would be together now, today, after
Yeah.
that? Because whenever-
Can you just talk about like the beginning?
beginning?
The beginning. What was the beginning?
Yeah.
Well, the
Like-
beginning was in 1984. I heard about a cultural exchange trip that was being organized to go to Nicaragua, which at that point was kind of in the middle of a civil war, and you would hear all kinds of very contradictory things about what was going on there. And I thought, well, if I went on this trip, I'd get to see for myself what's happening. So I went to this meeting to organize this trip, and there was this woman there with this incredible smile. I thought, wow. So that's cool. And it turns out that she and I were the only people that were fluent Spanish speakers in this group. So we ended up kind of gravitating toward each other and also being sort of the default translators for the group. And well, you know, we went down there and revolutions happened. When I first met Rosie, like, you know, we were getting along really well. I thought, oh, I like this girl. And then she said, yeah, I live with my boyfriend. And I thought, oh,
I was
okay.
honest at the time. I didn't tell him I'm kind of like leaving my boyfriend because I wanted to, you know, I still live with my boyfriend. I can't invite you over, you know.
We actually ended up playing for her boyfriend's wedding.
It all ended well. And he got
Well,
married on
he
the
got married
vineyard.
on the vineyard, as a matter of fact.
That's right.
That is like,
So
He
it's
married
a good
vineyard
ending.
girl.
It's a good ending.
That
That's right. That's right.
Did
yeah.
you tell the story correctly?
Well, I left out the detail that she was making googly eyes at me.
No,
because
he said so,
couldn't-
but it took me a longer than that to make googly eyes.
No,
That's
she
what
was
he
definitely
thought.
making googly eyes.
It's just that we were so similar. We were both the only like bicultural people that spoke English and Spanish fluently and had a connection to Latin culture, and so I definitely thought
Googly eyes.
I connected with him, but googly eyes came later, a little later, in my opinion.
In Spanish, the term is ojitos.
Ojitos.
When did you musically connect though?
Actually,
like, were you
right-
playing right away?
Yeah,
we did.
At
Because
that
I mean,
meeting, we
this
played.
was a
Yeah.
cultural exchange trip. So the people that
Yeah.
went on it
Yeah.
were artists of different disciplines. There was a group of musicians, there were theater
Mm-hmm.
people and visual artists. And so right away we got together and started rehearsing and working up some repertoire.
But even at that
because-
meeting, we people were like, well,
Yeah, what do you
let's,
do? So
let's play a few things. Everybody played a few things, and hadn't met, but we knew the Latin classics.
we knew like some
You know,
Mexican folk songs.
Yeah.
And we were,
So we started singing together.
and then we
that
started
feels
rehearsing
nice.
right away, so we'd have something to play when we got down
Yeah,
there. And,
yeah.
those rehearsals sometimes got pretty extended.
He's
Was
saying
this-
way too much on the radio.
Well, I was living in JP in Jamaica
Yeah.
Plain, and Rosie was
I-
living in Cambridge.
Yeah, I would drive half an hour. That's a long
That's a
time.
long
in
way.
the Boston area,
Yeah.
it's
probably
not like
only-
the vineyard.
Yeah, a couple miles, but a half an hour is a.
Yes. Exactly. So yeah, this is our first band. That's how our first band was born. We had this band for 10 years, and it was born with a few other people,
Yeah.
obviously. But yeah, and then we were like, well, we can't stop. So 10 years later, we started Sol y Canto.
So in this cultural exchange thing that
Yeah.
you mentioned, I don't think I knew that, even though we've talked a bunch of times before. You
Yeah, I don't think
also
you ever asked. Yeah.
about you also the translation services that's something else you do in your life.
Oh well, not exactly.
No, yeah,
No,
we do voiceover.
Yeah,
You do voiceover.
we're
English and
professional
Spanish,
bilingual voiceover actors.
Okay.
And
Can you just
occasionally
say-
that involves some
Yeah.
translating, but that's not the bulk of the work.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
no. Like we're the voice of the Getty Museum in Spanish.
Yeah, oh,
If you
very
go to the
cool.
Getty
I've been to
and
the
look at
Getty,
the
Yeah.
and you happen to be speaking Spanish, you
So
will
if
hear our
you,
voices.
if you get the app
yeah.
and listen to it in Spanish, you'll
Yeah.
hear us.
Yeah. We do also a ton of work for public TV in New York, WNET.
Mhm.
And I used to be the voice of Mattress Firm for 9 years. Also in Spanish. Yes.
That's such a cool gig.
I know,
I think
I
more
know,
singers should
I know.
use their voice in that.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
a lot
it's
of
fun.
there are a lot of voiceover talent who are singers,
Yeah.
or who have been
Yeah,
in
they are.
their earlier
They are,
lives. Yeah.
But the fun stuff is when we get to do a few little character voices.
Oh.
Yeah, those are
Do you
fun.
like a character?
Yeah, I do a character. You know who Brian makes fun of me, but I love Magna Chakrabarti from
Magna.
NPR.
Of course, yeah.
Magna. So
Her voice is something like this, but it's not really. But I just kind of modeled.
it's a very different sound from this one.
This is my voice, and this is her, sort of like. Do you think so? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But it doesn't matter as long as it's a different
I
voice.
just hope Magna
very-
never hears it.
I know, Magna, I love you. Your voice is much nicer than that, but
It helps me get a different voice happening, and then I can put do two characters, like whether it's for the Getty Museum or whether
It's so fun.
whether it's for a corporate narration,
it is fun. And he's done like lizard voices and rabbit voices for children's audiobooks.
No fun.
Yeah. In
Oh
fact,
no, I moved too slow.
turtle. That was a
whole
turtle.
different side of it.
Yeah.
What would you like to do next?
No more voices. Let's sing a
No.
song.
Should we do
En tu órbita. Okay.
yeah. This is the title cut of our last CD, which we released in 24, and it has a beautiful story. It was inspired by a friend who passed away a few years ago in her late 80s. Her name is Marie Jo Miera, New Mexico, where Brian's from, and she was just a love and a light and the most loving person. She was sort of like my surrogate mom. After I lost my mom, she was amazingly loving to me. You can call me anytime, day or night, 2 a.m, whenever, and she really meant it. And in my grief, I did call on her. And the story I'm about to tell you shows what kind of a person she is. We were having dinner at her house. We were all together. Our kids were there too, Zia and Alisa. And Zia asked Marie Jo, "Is there anything you'd like for me to bring you?"
Can I get you something?
Can I get you something? And Marie Jo just smiled and said, "No, honey, I just want to be in your orbit." In tu orbita, I was inspired in your orbit.
It says, time carries us downstream until one day it leaves us stranded on the shore. Day after day, we get lost in the day-to-day. Your story and mine intertwine. I don't care if you forget things. I don't care if your socks don't match. There's no need to talk to me if the silence is nice. I don't need anything else. I just want to be in your orbit. It's a mistake to take people or things for granted if opening our eyes is a gift. In this moment, I'm here with you. And as long as there's breath in me, I'll tell you. I don't care if you forget things. I don't care if your socks don't match. No need to talk to me if the silence is nice. I just want to be in your orbit.
El tiempo sin pausa nos lleva arriba abajo
Inevitablemente.
hasta que un día nos deja parado.
En una vía
Día tras día nos vamos perdiendo.
en lo cotidiano.
Tu historia y la mía se van entrelazando.
No me importa si te olvidas de las cosas, no me importa si tus medias no hacen juego, no hace falta que me hables, si da gusto el silencio, no necesito más, solo quiero estar en tu órbita.
Sing along, sing along.
No necesito más, solo quiero estar en tu órbita.
El cauce sinuoso nos hace perder de vista.
Lo imprescindible.
En el remanso vemos pasar la vida.
Ante nosotros,
Cada herida nos trae un mensaje.
como enseñanza,
En el abrazo hallamos lo que nos falta.
no me importa si te olvidas de las
You come to the
cosas,
show
no me
tonight, you
importa
want to sing along in this chorus.
tus
It's
medias
coming
no
right
hacen
up.
juego, no
No
hace
hace
falta
falta
que me hables, si da gusto el silencio,
No necesito más,
solo quiero
en tu órbita. You got it? No necesito más, solo quiero estar en tu órbita. Es un error dar por sentado si abrir los ojos es un regalo. En este momento estoy contigo y mientras me quede aliento te digo. No me importa si te hundas de las cosas, no me importa si tus medias no hacen juego, no hace falta que me hables si me gusto en silencio. No necesito más, solo quiero estar en tu órbita. No necesito más, solo quiero estar en tu
MBY Radio, Sully Canto. They're performing today at the Winnetou Oceanside Resort, 6 o'clock free show. Same thing tomorrow at Mashpee Commons. Brian, let's talk about your guitar playing for a minute.
Okay.
Where did you, let's talk about where it comes from. Meaning, like, what were you listening to when you first picked up the guitar, and then how much education of all kinds of different styles of music, where did those things fall?
great
Well,
question.
what I was first listening to, you would probably never guess by the way that I play now.
I'm
But
dying
my
to know,
first
yeah.
inspirations were Grand Funk Railroad, Santana, and The Doors.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in that order. Yeah, when I was, starting to get into music, and I mean, learning to listen to or enjoying listening to my own music rather than the music, my parents played. I loved rock and roll, and I wanted to play rock and roll. And my mom sometimes was very wise. She said, okay, so let's do this. Why don't you start out with classical guitar, and after a year, if you want an electric guitar, we'll get you one. So it seemed like a reasonable proposition, and I said, okay, fine. And then I fell in love with a nylon string guitar, and I've never put it down ever since. So yeah, but I've studied a lot of classical, a lot of flamenco, and a lot of Latin American styles as well.
Was that music that was in your life growing up, or did you like discover it in the process of just beginning to learn
No,
to
I
play?
mean the classical. I just because I was taking lessons and learned
Sure.
a lot about the classical guitar repertoire, and then I ended up actually coming to this end of the world to study at New England Conservatory of Music.
And then he had a whole adventure with flamenco.
Yeah, but in
Yeah.
the meantime, I had also I studied flamenco, and I went to Spain and spent a summer there.
Can you tell people what flamenco is if they don't know what it is?
Flamenco is a style of music, dance, and well, guitar, dance, and singing that originated with basically all of the people who were sort of outcasts during the reign of the Catholic kings in Spain, which included the Gypsies, the Jews, and the Arabs, and they were all kind of forced to live in slums on the outskirts of the cities, where they mixed together and brought their own things into the music. So it's thought that flamenco has origins in gypsy music, in Arabic music, in old ancient Jewish Sephardic music as well, and now it's it's just exploded. It's an amazing discipline, and there are guitarists that would just like leave you with your mouth hanging open.
Yeah. It's a high performance
Very much.
style
Oh,
of
yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, to do serious flamenco guitar, you have to be dedicated to it 100% and just kind of do that all the time.
Speaking of which, even though this is not a flamenco guitar, we were in Madrid on tour
This guitar, I
this
actually
summer,
did pick it
and
up
he-
in Madrid.
we were coming out of the Reina Sofia Museum, and he's like, there's a guitar store.
Guitar store.
And we're in Madrid. I think we need to check it out. We were just surrounded by amazing treasures. I'm like, I think we're gonna take a guitar today, aren't we?
So they sat me down in this little room and they kept me bringing
Yeah,
guitars.
it was, oh
And
my
then-
God.
And the first few, they were all right, and then they gave me this one, and this is like, I saw Rosie like perk up, and I
Wait,
perked up.
how did you know that this was his guitar?
No, I was listening to him playing, and all of a
Oh,
sudden when
so
he
he's
played this
playing.
one, I was like,
Yeah, the
whoa.
sound of this one was just.
We both knew.
How do you
you
know when you found a guitar? I feel like this is like a wizard picks his
Yeah,
wand.
yeah.
It's pretty much that way, yeah.
Yeah.
You and the guitar pick each other, you know.
Yeah, he loves
Yeah.
it. He loves it. He won't stop practicing it. Fortunately, he's the chef of the family, and he still loves to cook because otherwise I would never eat. Because I don't cook anymore because he's so good at it. But the thing is, it's between guitar and food, you know. So,
Both necessities.
yes.
Whereas you sometimes come in with an instrument. You know,
I
not
do,
Today, but
yeah.
like you have.
I do. I love percussion. I
Yeah.
play the cajon, which I learned to play during the pandemic since
Tell
I had a
people
little
what
free
that is.
time on my hands. You know how I learned to play it, right?
No.
YouTube.
Oh, really?
Cajon123.com.
Okay.
I recommend it for anyone who wants to explore the cajon.
That one, 123.com.
Great. Yeah, he's great. He's great. I love it. And I actually, you know, the musicians who play the cajon had a bit of free time too, so I studied with an amazing cajon
nice.
player in Madrid, actually,
Yeah.
who I later met.
He's from Cuba, but he
Yeah,
lives in-
Cuban,
And we
yeah.
have a friend in Puerto Rico who introduced us, who said, "Oh, I have a friend who's the best cajon player in,
In
the
the
world.
world."
You should study with him."
Just that, you know.
Sure,
And he's like, yeah, I have some free time. I can teach you some cajon playing on Zoom. We
Very
figured
cool,
it
yeah.
out.
And
Yeah.
classes on Zoom worked for you?
They did.
Yeah.
They did. Yeah, we learned. We all adapted. I also play the bongo, which I've been playing for quite a while, and small percussion. So my passions are certainly singing is
Of
my
course.
foremost passion,
Yeah.
but and percussion. But I also have taken a deep dive already in the last 15, 16 years into vocal improvisation.
Mm-hmm.
I've studied with Rhiannon as my basic mentor, my foremost mentor. She was a close associate of Bobby McFerrin's,
Yeah.
but also people from Brazil, my friend Susan Gonçalves, and so many people who have played a role in helping me to grow and really blossom as a vocal improviser. Whereas in the beginning I was like, I don't know, can I be good at this? And now I feel totally free and
Yeah.
able to just let
I mean,
go and
It
really
must
get
just
into it.
beyond skill. It must be like finding that freedom. Like,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's. I find it to be a very spiritual experience, and I actually just founded a vocal improvisation ensemble called the Vocal Play Collective.
All right.
Hopefully someday we'll play on the Vineyard too.
Sounds
It's just
great.
getting going. It's full of singer-songwriters, as a matter of fact.
Amazing.
Yeah.
This is in
In
Cambridge?
in Boston,
In the
in
Boston
Cambridge,
area,
yeah.
yeah.
That we meet like in my house in my garden. Yeah.
very nice.
I don't know if you know Stephanie McKay or Sarah Blackley. I don't know, all these people who, Mark Lippman, who are fantastic singer-songwriters, and more. It's just a ton of fun, and I'm having a blast. And Brian seems to think it's okay too, right?
Well, it's
He
great.
has high standards. Every now and then he'd be like, "Oh, I think you're making music."
You know, every once in a while they'll do something and say, "Hey, that sounded like music."
No, it sounds like music a lot.
If I say that, they know they did really well.
It's super fun. No, the audience likes it too. Yeah, we've been singing out.
I think you could do one more for us today, right now, and then
Yeah.
people can come see you tonight at 6 o'clock at the Winter Tune.
Yes.
Yes.
We can even do
We would
one
love to
in
do that.
English, which will require.
Yeah, let's do one in English. I'm gonna plug, in addition to the 2 shows that we have that we
Yeah,
are
please do.
kindly presenting. I want to tell people, because I'm sure you have some listeners in Boston. We're doing a very special show on October 24th in Belmont at the UU Church at the second Friday concert series, what do they call it? But it's on a Saturday, October 24th. And the concert is called Stand Up, Resist, Songs of Defiance and Hope. And it's going to basically feature all of our political repertoire because, surprise, Brian's been writing a lot of songs about what's been going on in our country and in the world. And Chris and Meredith Thompson are going to open for us. They're going to do some protest songs, sing-alongs that are American. And we'll do a few classics from Latin America, but mostly we're going to do original stuff.
Yeah.
And this is one of them. They're songs that have bubbled out of him of all kinds.
You know, in the last couple of years, I've written a lot of songs that came out of a place of anger and frustration with what's going on in our country. And then it occurred to me, maybe it's time to do something more hopeful. So I decided to write a song that's dedicated to all the people that have been coming out to protest. And not only to protest, but to do it in a way that's so creative and joyful and humorous. So the song is called Bring Out Your Joy.
I've seen some dark times, but not like this. The covered face and the iron fist. But if they wield such fearsome power, why are they so afraid? And you come out here to face them down. Let them know this is not their town. Yeah, you come out here with no defense to show them who's the boss. Bring out your sadness, bring out your anger, bring out your kindness, bring out your voice.
Bring out your patience, your perseverance. Bring out your courage,
Bring out your joy, bring out your joy, joy, joy. Everybody, bring out your joy, joy, joy.
Bring out your joy, joy, joy.
Bring out your joy, bring out your joy. Bring out your weirdness, bring out your queerness. Bring out your sachet, bring out your snark.
Bring out your laughter, your sense of humor. Bring out your dance moves. Bring out your joy. Bring out your joy, joy, joy. Bring out your joy, joy, joy. Bring out your joy, joy, joy. Bring out your joy, bring out your joy, joy, joy.
Let's hear it, everybody.
Bring out your
Joy,
joy,
joy, joy.
bring out your joy, joy, joy. Bring out your joy.
Bring out your joy. Eso.
Blue Radio, our summer concert series continues today. This is Brian and Rosie on the doors. Soy Canto, the founders of,
Exacto.
Yes.
will be performing today, 6 o'clock at the Winnetou Oceanside Resort. That's a free show, and tomorrow a free show at the bandstand at Mashpee Commons. It's always delightful to see
And
you.
thank you,
Thank you.
MVY, for being so kind to us always for so long. We love coming here. We love the fact, we appreciate deeply the fact that you play our music and our daughter's music.
Thanks.
Our mother
Thanks for
and
being
many
such a
other.
great part of the community.
Oh my
It
God,
was just-
this is our favorite community radio station.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I'm proud
All right,
to say
people, we'll
that.
see you tonight at 6 o'clock on the island, tomorrow night on the mainland. That's the lunch hour.
Hasta
on
pronto.
MPY.
Bye.
Awesome.
All
Thank
true
you.
things.